into game 2 now of the Law versus Sweet Super Sirs, aka Moe's Tavern. I don't know exactly when they switched their tag, but sometime before this. This is Diamond Cycle 9, round of 16, as I continue looking for stuff to cast. And this fits the bill. I found a replay, and it exists, so we're going to cast it. Well, I'm going to cast it, not you. You're just watching. But game 1, of course, going to the Law. Relatively easy win for them, took about 35 minutes, but they were never really in too much danger of losing it. They managed to farm the crap out of a Siller, and despite the fact that Sweet Super Sirs over here on the Hellborn side had Kronos, just nothing really ever happened in there. Never really had the goal per minute to compete with Siller or anybody on the Hellborn team in that game. Of course, Legion now. So, bit of a disappointment then for them. I think they certainly would have liked to perform a little bit better, but we'll see if they can up the ante here in game 2. It's not like they had the worst game in the world. It just felt like the draft wasn't great, the lanes weren't great, and they did get outplayed a little bit. That's not that surprising. The Law over here, plenty of well-known players, and not so much on Sweet Super Sirs, so bit of a disappointment in game 1 for them, I think, but we'll move on to game 2, and perhaps they can improve their standings. Bans are out: Pestilence, Scout, Keeper of the Forest, and Warbeast. So that's a lot of suicides, first of all. Scout, Keeper, and Warbeast all taken out, as they are very often picked up to fill that suicide role. Pestilence also banned to kill that mid-initiator problem, so that's going to take out a lot of heroes that we've seen quite often. Nothing in those bans that is particularly strange whatsoever, as the Law and Sweet Super Sirs now getting into this picking stage. So far looking at Ophelia and Bubbles coming out here for the Legion side, so first pick, not that surprising, often considered the best jungler in the game. I think she's right up there with Tempest, perhaps a little ahead, depends on really what the team composition is. A little more teamfight oriented team might like Tempest more, a little more ganking oriented team might like Ophelia more, as she does tend to gank harder at earlier levels, and she remains a hero that can lock down one or two heroes through the end of the game with that Skeleton King Minotaur combo if she's able to keep that up. And Tempest, of course, with the ultimate, love to drop that in team fights, but not so adept at ganking heroes, even with the Glacial Blasts being somewhat helpful, certainly. But not the biggest thing, of course. Both those heroes are strong pushers. Bubble is going to be followed up with that, as we've now got two heroes doing pretty solidly at ganking. So Law over here with a nice early game team should do pretty well in the laning phase and into the mid game. Bubbles does tend to taper off a little bit after that, of course, as magic damage becomes less and less impressive. 300 magic damage at level 4 when you're level 7 and everybody else is level 7 and they have 900 health is really impressive. 300 magic damage when you're level 18 and everybody else is level 18 and everybody has 1500 health is a lot less impressive. So looking for a slight early game here, should do pretty well between both of those heroes in the laning phase. And certainly no question strong picks. Of course, Ophelia will be in the jungle, but Bubbles could be short lane. Could be short lane. We've seen it a couple of times. I don't like it myself, but could be mid, could be suicide. Really, could do anything. Same thing over here for the Hellborn side. Hag and Drunken Master. Really, all three. Those are both heroes that can be put in all three roles and make a lot of sense in all three roles. So, Sweet Super Sirs over here not giving too much away when it comes to their lanes so far with their first two picks. Especially when compared to the Law, where we know that Ophelia's going to be in the jungle and Bubbles is probably going to be in the mid or suicide. But, of course, with the jungler, it's not that surprising. Junglers always go in the jungle, so that's not really a disadvantage. It's like, oh, it could be good jungler. And we'll see if the Hellborn team will pick up one of their own, or if we're going to go a jungle versus no jungle strat, which I think does favor the jungler. But nope, it is going to be jungle versus jungle, as the Hellborn pick up Parasite to complement Hag and DM. So lots of burst damage there, lots of magic damage between Hag and Parasite, and Drunken Master actually does a fair bit of burst himself with Stagger and Lunge combination, and of course his auto attacks just hit really hard, so especially once you get that Ghost Marcher, Soul's Bulwark, and possibly even a Shield Breaker, the amount of physical damage that comes out from DM is pretty hilarious. So we'll see if they can make that work. I think the single target is also a big factor here. DM and Parasite are both massive single target heroes. Rich Hag obviously not so much with the Sonar Scream and Bat Blast both being AoE effects, but she also has quite a bit of burst. So last pick over here for Law is Prisoner 945. That's pretty interesting. We don't see him too often. There was, this thing that Prisoner's the most broken hero in the game. He's the best hero in the game, and that died really fast. And since then, we haven't seen him picked up too much. And I think this is post the Prisoner is amazing phase, so a little bit of an interesting pick. Almost certainly will go mid here. We did see a solo short Prisoner played in an earlier game, and I can't remember who did it now, but it didn't work well. Mostly because, oh sorry, it was You Left the Party. Yeah. Nayu playing a Prisoner in... Actually, no, he played it mid. He did play it solo mid, but they put him on Nayu, who is their carry player, so I don't like that. I really hope that the law doesn't do that here. I don't think Prisoner's a carry. Like, he's a good initiator, he's a good mid player, and he likes to be dual laned, but he's not a carry, so I don't understand why anybody would run him that role, and it did not work for them. It didn't help that their other carry option was Pebbles, so who gets picked up here? But bans here, Kraken, Ravener, and Master of Arms, as banning out some mid heroes. Of course, Hellborn already has a couple of them in Drunken Master and Wretched Hag as options, so we'll see how much that actually affects. Of course, Kraken could go to any lane, and theoretically, Ravener could go at least to top, and very possibly to the bottom lane too, if he's dual laned. So it's not like there's only one lane for those heroes, but certainly very often seen in that mid initiator role. And Master of Arms final ban here from Legion's side, taking on support, knowing that the A have the first pick, and the Hellborn are lacking a support just like they are. So solid ban there. Engineer, Corrupt Disciple, and Grinix banned out by the Hellborn side. Grinix obviously really a suicide, and that's it. We've seen again him run in the short lane before. Wasn't very effective, but we have seen that. And Corrupted Disciple, obviously also a short laner. Engineer support, so banning out probably the most popular support in the game at this stage, and a really powerful short laner in CD, and of course a possible suicide and Grinix, and it is going to be the Bloodhunter last pick. So I'm assuming that's going to be their short laner, Prisoner Torturer mid, and Bubbles in the suicide lane, plus Ophelia in the jungle, so that's pretty solid here from the Legion side. Bloodhunter obviously seeing a bit of emergence out of the last patch, and now I wonder if this was actually a weird pick. Because I feel like this was pre-nerfs, right? Because the cycle time was the nerfs. So, Bloodhunter would be an interesting pick here, because I wonder if it actually gives the old one. No? It gives the new one, I think. But, regardless, Bloodhunter is a very powerful hero, I think. I think he always had a place in the competitive scene. He just wasn't used too well. Has some carry potential, to be sure. Like, there's no question about that. It's just a matter of getting him to that point, and he is a very, very powerful mid-game carry. So, in terms of how he scales to the end, he's going to need a lot of farm and space to move if he wants to be able to go from the early mid-game being very powerful to the late game being very, very powerful, but it certainly can happen. So, certainly not opposed to that lull picks on Bloodhunter, and he was their solo player last game, so I assume this is going to be a short laner. It actually looks like it's going to be Tort. No, this is... What's Tort doing? I assume he's going middle with Prisoner, so... Last two picks here on the Hellborn are Pebbles and Nymphora, obviously very strong combination, as Pebbles feeds a bunch of mana to... Or sorry, Nymph feeds a bunch of mana to Pebbles, and so presumably they'll be going mid now. Drunken and Hag are options for the short lane or the long lane, and Ping lane here, I guess, is their off-lane player, but he did play the Kronos last game, which he often plays in off lane, so who knows. But it looks like he'll be heading bot to play the Suicide on Hag, and Drunken Master will be in the solo short. Or this is going to be dual lane top. Really, Hellborn can run all sorts of different lanes here, which is often the sign of a good lineup when you've picked lanes the other team can't go, oh yeah, we know exactly what you're doing. So that's sort of what's happened here with Legion. We pretty much know exactly what they're doing. We definitely know Bubble's going to be Suicide, and we were pretty sure it's going to be the mid Prisoner and the short lane roll picks on that Bloodhunter, especially because of the player hero combinations, and they're running around Ophelia here. And she sings. It's pretty funny. The question really is Torture going to be mid, or is he going to be bot with Bloodhunter? And I think he's going to be mid, which is, in my estimation, the correct decision. Especially because I would have expected Pebbles Nymph to be mid, but that's not looking like it's going to be the case. Instead, they will be top, and DM will be mid. So DM not going to get too much here. Going to have to watch out for those hooks. Has Stagger to both be evasive and avoid the hooks as well. invasive in general, I mean. And the archers are going to be in here and kick the crap out of each other a little bit. So this is going to result in lane control for the Legion side, as their archer is still alive, or on the Hellborn. But DM's basically get nothing here in this lane, and bot Hag versus Bloodhunter. Hag will actually have a better time here than she normally would against most short laners. With the melee here, she's not going to get too much in terms of CS, or in terms of harass, I think, just because of the feast. But if she plays this right, she can get a fair bit of CS, and applying that haunt regularly will be annoying, actually. While up top, what the hell? Just trading too many auto attacks here. Wow. Person on that Nymphora just getting destroyed. I don't know what the hell happened there. She has a stun. And she just never used it, and neither did Pebbles. So that was an interesting decision there. Neither of them choosing to use their stun to try to save Nymphora. And as a result, First Blood going to Bifur on the suicide bubbles. That's not something you want ever if you're the Hellborn side. Giving up a kill in a dual lane against a suicide is insane. And really, that should never ever happen. Meanwhile, on bot, Ophelia coming in, Penguin will actually die. Let's catch most of that. She had the silence on her. And there's this Elephant Net. Just enough for the leap, not enough to live. She had activated the health potion too, so that's actually going to be a bit of an issue because now she has no health bot. And she'll have to buy another one. So 100 gold wasted there a little bit. Parasite's coming in here looking for a gank, and doesn't realize what a big problem it is because Parasite's here as well. He has the leech, but it's not going to be enough to get the kill. Health pot activated on Torture, and we'll see what happens. Nothing. So, gank attempted here by Parasite in the middle lane, not quite successful. But it's enough. Now, 2 kills, of course, pushing resources in favor of the Legion side. So they're doing well in pretty much all their lanes here. Over 300 GPM on every single one of their farmers, of course. Bubbles getting a First Blood helps a lot with that. Nymphora is still level 1, and should be careful here, because if Bubbles finds her again, it could be an issue. Of course, Parasite's over here in a Minotaur. And I think they're looking for something. They have 3 suns now between the 3 of them. Not anymore, because the Minotaurs are just used to stomp. Parasite's actually DD'd as well. I'm really surprised they didn't go for a kill there. I don't understand why you wouldn't. Take cover won't be enough to prevent all the stalagmite damage because it is successive stuns. And really, with all the stuns stacked, plus the double damage Parasite and the Minotaur Stomp, they could kill him, so... There's the stalagmites going out, and followed by the Zeal and a Chuck, and that's actually going to be... Oh my god! Whoo-hoo! Very well played there from Bubble. So as you can clearly see, actually, a Shackle coming in, but Drunken Master's going to put Torture into the chain, and that will actually be a kill. Hulk will miss, so nice pick there on Diznawi with Parasite coming in. So, I mean, as you can see, like, anything that Parasite could have done to help that kill up there would have been an easy kill on the Bubbles, and instead, for some reason, they just didn't want to do it. I guess they assumed that Pebbles didn't really quite have the range, but still. So now Bloodhunter just destroying this bottom lane. Of course, Feast helps out a lot when it comes to harass. He actually has a Blood Chalice for some reason. Presumably because he can just get the health back from Feast, but he doesn't usually need enough mana to be doing that. I suppose he's just spamming that Blood Crazy on this Hag, doing as much damage as he can, and getting all that health back with Feast. But at this point, it is 25-9 here for Bloodhunter on the bottom lane, compared to Hag at 14-1, so she's having a decent enough time. Not the greatest, and we're going to see not enough range for the Skeleton King yet, as Ophelia's with Illusions looking to gank, but not going to happen. Hatchet misses there. Bloodhunter's getting right back to full here, thanks to the Feast. Middle, Prisoner Hook gets in, and there's a Shackle as well, but DM's going to be fine. And we've got Prisoner at 28 and 16 compared to Drunken Master at 10 and 0, so obviously Prisoner winning this lane, no surprise. It is a dual lane against Drunken Master, like there's not much he can do about that. But DM's farm not bad, 200 gold per minute compared to the 320 of Prisoner. Top is the real problem. Pebbles is at 24 and 8, Bubbles is at 20 and 4, and Bubbles actually has more farm than Pebbles does because of the Bloodlust and the failed gank from earlier. So this is a lane they absolutely shouldn't be losing, and yet they are. As a result of losing all 3 lanes, we've got a sequence on that Ophelia, 220 gold per minute compared to 230 on Parasite. So Parasite slightly outfarming his counterpart in the jungle, and so they're really now even there. So 3 lanes lost here for the Hellborn and 1 tied. As top rune is going to be contested, DM will get there just in time, and it is double damage. He'll grab it. Looking for a pick now as he takes the double damage. I think he popped his... No, he doesn't actually have his ult. He's level 6, no ult. Hook coming in will be dodged. And looking to pick up some CS with that DD. Lots of damage. No chain reactions coming out. His Prisoner takes half his health and a couple of auto attacks. And of course he has no mana, so no danger of a hook here. Some bot Penguin, of course, forced to the lane, and he has gone bot, or back to base. He's now coming back, but that means free farm here for lol picks at 360 gold per minute. And that's pretty ugly. 4 heroes here on the Legion side, outfarming everybody on Hellborn, as 225 DP on Pebbles for some reason. I don't understand why he's so low. He's taking no deaths. There's no reason for him to be at 220 GPM. No, okay, Shelter is available for Bubbles. Looking for a way to get out of this. And will he find it? Oh god. Actually doesn't port, and now he's dead. Take cover is not available, and there's the chuck. Nice ultimate from Ophelia. It's not going to stop anything. Middle ultimate from Prisoner, and that's going to pull DM in, and this is going to be a dead DM, so. Thanks for yelling, Prisoner, otherwise I would have missed that. Come back here. Bot, meanwhile, see, that's what happens when people don't yell. Blood Crazy's there, and that's going to be on top of the hemorrhage, so he'll easily fall. And all of a sudden, 1 kill coming out for Hellborn, but 2 for the Legion. So that obviously favors them. Both suicides dropping. And yet, I don't know if I understand what's up with this Pebbles. He's at 33 CS, 52 for Bloodhunter, 47 for Prisoner, and 32 for Bubbles. So, why does Pebbles have the same CS as Bubbles? Like, that's ridiculous. Over here, Invis Torture looking for a kill there. There's Blood Crazy. There's the chain reactions. Will land. Drunken Master coming in here trying to help. Ophelia's in some trouble, but Penguin falls first. Now Oph's going to take a health bot here, and that will help to keep him alive. It gets knocked off, but there's the Blood Crazy, and once again, DM's going to run away. Prisoner's here looking for the hook. Not going to hit it. So Ophelia does just manage to live. And they get another pick on the Hag. As Drunken Master will kill this wave. Parasite sitting here looking at Prisoner, but not going to do anything. Once again, Blood Crazy and the Hemorrhage on DM, and he's going to die. Parasite looking for something, but not going to find it. That's the face hug. Could steal the haste rune from there's the Leech and the Sonar Scream on top of that. Nice chain reactions will stop it. And actually, BH tried to pour it out, and he could have, and then chose to cancel it. Figuring, hey, I'm actually going to live through this. It won't take that much damage. I don't think the face hug was used there. No, it must have been, because it's on cooldown. The haste must have been just wearing off. Up top, Bubbles gonna get stunned, followed by the N4 Zeal stun, and the Chuck. That's gonna be dead. Actually, Pebbles just surviving too. In middle, Drunken Master taking the ultimate from Prisoner. Will get stunned in, but now he's in a bit of trouble. Will pour it out. And is he going to make it? No. Newer spelling just a second late. And Brodex would have survived, of course, if that Ophelia ultimate had gone off, but came in less than a second late, really. So, good pick there for Hellborn on both the top and the mid. That was up here. Not a lot of health, actually. I'm a little concerned at that. Yeah, he's just going to port back to base field. Like, yeah, I want to hang around here. Bubbles being this low health. If he eats the Bubbles combo, he's dead. Right, Bubbles threw a shell surf into the woods, figuring, hey, if we can find Pebbles here, he's dead. Jump in. Meanwhile, actually, his prisoner, or sorry, Drunken Master will fall. He got hooked, I'm sure. Yep, there it is. And the chain reactions and the shackle. That's just, nope. Nothing you're going to do there, buddy. Now, Pebbles and Nymphora? Yeah, so Nymphora ported him bot. Looking for a pick on somebody here. Pebbles does not have a portal key. Just about 900 gold off of that. But Bloodhunter's in the woods, and he's not going to see anybody down here because...
The Legion have destroyed a Hellborn
Mid tower falls as Ophelia is starting to push. Of course, already taking bot tower. Now Pebbles and Nymphora figuring they're wasting their time as Bubbles is actually pushing top tower himself, and the rest of the Legion team, mostly, is continuing to push in middle. Oh, yes, no, no, they're not going to push. Pebbles and Nymph rotating over, trying to defend here. As we have a pretty massive lead here for the Hellborn side, 6.6k experience, 3.5k gold. Prisoner Hook coming in will kill Pebbles immediately. As all sorts of stuff was dropped there. Including the hemorrhage from Bloodhunter, which is kind of funny because he wasn't allowed to move. So nuke damage is pretty solid, but not that much. Bubbles Bat Blast actually going to be take covered, I think, and this wow. Bubbles going to get away. So Viver manages to get the top tower kill and live. As Penguin there, only at 200 gold per minute, activating the impalement there is Torture, and DM's going to run away. And this is mid tower, is going to be in a little bit of trouble. Regen Rune is activated there, but actually eats the Blood Crazy, and that gets it knocked off. So, secondary mid tower falling. And we have 4 towers dead in less than 13 minutes here in favor of Legion side. Of course, Hellborn with no towers. Hag up here, reasonably low. Bubbles is looking for this. And if she hangs around here for the next few seconds, she's going to be dead. Shell Surf into the woods. Where's the kelp field? There it is. Stops the port, and that's a dead Hag. So, Penguin not feeling safe, and definitely wasn't, and doesn't matter because the kelp field stops the channeling on that port. Invis Prisoner over here. Hemorrhage goes out onto Nymphora. Puts the stun down, actually hits a lot. Facehog then comes in, but nice ultimate from Prisoner. And this is going to hit all of them. Everybody on the Hellborn side just getting cleaned up. As Brodex pops a fantastic ultimate. And that's going to result in a top tower push here. Bloodhunter taking the tower for some reason. As we have 4 heroes up here. And that's another 10 tower. So now we're 14 minutes in. There's a 15k gold lead, a 9.5k experience lead, and 5 towers dead in favor of the Legion side. I think this game's mostly over. Let's look at the GPM charts. Yeah. 235 GPM for Pebbles, 300 GPM for Torturer, who is their hard support, and has 7 CS. Yeah. Wretched Hag jumped into the Legion Woods here, doing something. And meanwhile, in middle, Drunken Master going to initiate here onto Prisoner. He's really tanky, though, so there's a Shackle coming out. And he's going to try to pour. Will he make it? Yes, this time it works. Hag going to find Ophelia here. Will run the hell away and try to pour it out. Ophelia doesn't even care. Mid getting pushed in a little bit, but Torture and Bloodhunter are here to defend it. And, I mean, really, at this point, I'm not sure there's anything that Hellborn can do, besides massive throws from Legion. Skeleton King Net actually going to catch this Drunken Master, now he's in trouble. Kelplayer goes down on top of chain reactions, and this is just death. So just enough range on that Skeleton King Net to catch DM, and plenty of spells to follow it up and kill him. Prisoner Hook going to help clean up the creep wave, and this last outer tower is going to be pushed in. So we're almost at 16 minutes here, and I'd be frantically mashing that CC button if I were the Hellborn team.
The Legion have destroyed a Hellborn
I mean,
tower.
I'll give them this is game 2, and this game will knock them down to the loser's bracket, so it's not like you can come back if you CC. But what's the point of being in this game right now? Base tower is now getting wrecked. Like, this is just ridiculous. Pebbles does not actually does have portal feed, shockingly enough. He's at 270 GPM all of a sudden. We see Pullhanger 2 on the hook. Nice ultimate there from Prisoner. Will hook him right back in. A couple of kills right off the bat as Pebbles gets to do nothing. Nymphora also was eaten. And this is going to be a Rax kill at 16.5 minutes. Nice hook in there onto Parasite. There's a Blood Crazy on top of him and he's dead. So yeah, Nymphora is up just because she's level 6 and so her respawn timer is nothing. Hag is going on an adventure. His mid-racks are falling. So our Hellborn is going to stick through this. I think that's what seems is happening. And there's nothing that they can do about this. There's the GG's called. Hook not going to hit Pebbles there, as he's perhaps looking for an opening. Has that portal key, of course, but Prisoner looking to shackle him, and yeah, no, he can't. Parasite taking over one of Ophelia's minions, but will actually get out of here. Nice deal from Nymph. Hemorrhage onto her, though, and now she's in some trouble. Hook comes in, hits nothing, but there's the kill field to finish off Nymphora. Parasite falls next, and here comes Pebbles in the background, trying to kill Bubbles. Not going to quite happen. DM looking for some engagement, but there goes Pebbles, and now Drunken needs to get the hell out of this. There's a shackle on top of him. This Prisoner's taking a ton of damage from those 2 towers, but there's the hook back in, and it's not going to be enough, actually, despite the Blood Crazy. We're going to see Mega Creeps here, I think. There's the melee racks. And VH Pops is struck in already. Nice hook back in, and that will finish off the DM. And there's the GG's. So we don't actually see the Mega Creeps. That's too bad. Finish them off. Melee Hellborn or Legion team. So there's not too much to say about that one. I think Hellborn had a solid enough draft there. They had a nice team. A little interesting with the laning decisions. I think I would have sent to do lane mid, but hey. Obviously, I think what happened in this game was they just got massively outplayed. Like, I think there's too much question about that. They lost all 3 lanes, and they really shouldn't have. So, yeah, you can't really do that. You can't lose all 3 lanes and tie the jungle and think, oh yeah, we're going to win this game. There's no problem. And then, of course, Legion with a massive advantage were like, hey, we have a massive advantage. We have a bunch of heroes that are strong in the mid game. Let's go push everything and destroy everything and win every team fight. And that's basically what happened. So that's it for this game, and that's it for this series, as the Law takes it 2-0 over Sweet Super Sirs, and we will see you next time.